Welcome to Gilded Lantern. This is a timeless reading. That means you'll find this video, this message when you need it the most. This reading are for those who feel like they have outgrown an old version of yourself but are not quite sure on what to do next. I would like to reiterate, or rather stress, that transitions are never easy. They are never tidy either. However, you are not alone. So, this reading is all about major life transitions coming your way. And sometimes it would be nice to have heads up in life. Okay, before we begin, I'd like to ask of you to do something first. Relax those shoulders, unclench the jaw, take a deep breath, inhale, and exhale. Now imagine standing in a hallway in between two rooms. There is a doorway in front of you, and there is a doorway behind. What do you see? I want you to hold that thought as you select your pile. So we have pile number 1 with a citrine tower, pile number 2 with a labradorite tower, and pile number 3 with a sunstone tower. I'll give you a few minutes to ruminate. All right, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So, for this reading, we will be exploring the different chapters, the old chapters that are closing for you, and then we will pull what lessons the universe wanted to tell you from those chapters that we're closing. And then we're also going to be see what energy is arriving for you, and then what will be your anchors during this transition coming. So let's get started. All right. What are the old chapters closing for pile number 1? What are the old chapters closing for pile number 1? Old chapters closing for pile number 1. Oops. Please pull out. If that's the message, let it fall out. Thank you. Oh, the deck was under. Okay. The deck was upside down. All right. All right. Thank you. What it was the old chapters closing. All right. Thank you. All right. And then underneath the deck is this. So, pile number 1. It would seem that you are somebody with a lot of bold ideas. You have quite the spark in you. You can say that you are a person who starts a lot of things. However, with the Judgment card here, ruled by Pluto, if I remember, and then the Sun, it seems like you possibly made decisions that seem to have dimmed your light, given that judgment card here is is kind of like eclipsing the sun. You have a lot of ideas, but you possibly let others um, trample your light, if not dim you. And it may have been, I guess, it may have happened during the Pluto transition through Aquarius as of late. You may also be a creative individual. However, you found yourself making career decisions that are not exactly helping you shine on where you're supposed to be. And that's why here we have the 10 of swords, the 10 of keys, which is symbolized by the sun. And is that Gemini? Yes, that's Gemini. Seems like you carried burdens that were not supposed to be for you. In fact, you may have been overburdened with a lot of things, a lot of expectations, not only for yourself, but also from others. And the fact that these expectations may not be aligning to you, to what was really resonating in your life. And given that there's two of swords, two of keys here with moon and Libra, there in a way, there was a lack of discernment without sugarcoating things. You probably needed more time to think about the decisions that you had to do. But I guess you trusted too many people at the wrong time. They were, in a way, you probably trusted them because you may have had history with them. But just because you've known them for a very long time doesn't mean you actually know the intent that they have behind them. And these people may have also hidden a few things from you, from what I'm seeing here, from the Two of Swords, in which had resulted into this. I apologize for that. The neighbor's dog has been barking for the past few minutes, and definitely I would take that as a sign from your guides. Like this person was in a way very intrusive in your life, that you may have had warning bells already pop in, but they were a person that you trusted, and maybe you also believed in their words, in their goals. And in that moment of trust, you decided to follow along what they wanted. However, that resulted uh, to your own fall, just like Icarus. It was basically, we can say it was a deeply transformative experience for you. All right, so let's look at what lesson was the universe trying to tell you. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if that was a card. Was that their card? What's the lessons that the universe wanted to tell pile number 1? Through that old chapter closing. Oh, okay. Interesting. Underneath the deck was the sun. Oh my god, double sun. We have the sun here underneath the judgment, and underneath the deck is your sun. So I'm guessing that the lesson here is finding your own sense of authority, your own two legs, standing in a way, not fearing to be perceived anymore, despite the mistake that you've made. So it feels like the lesson that the universe wanted to tell you is that you pretty much are in charge of your own life. From what I can see, is that from Fei Hu here, which is the wealth, the wealth card, you are pretty much bountiful in your own way. You have the resources needed to be able to make things happen. And you may have been overly generous of not only your time, your effort, but also your uh, monetary possessions. You may have given away more than enough money. Let's not let's not hide that fact. You may have lent them money. Think, of course, with good faith, but in the end, this is still energy. This is still a resource, and in good faith, you may have most likely fallen into a specific I guess wound, in a way, societal wound that we had, that we must be charitable in order to be perceived, or in order to be appreciated. But there's also once such thing as being overly charitable, wherein the act of charity can be abused, if if you can get my drift. And that is one of the lessons that the universe wants to tell you, is that mm, you yes, you have all the resources, but not everyone deserves to be a recipient of this charity that you have. And maybe that's the reason why I guess was an overlaps of discernment in your part, because you were too trusting, or you may have been also a people pleaser. That could be. And now I guess um probably because of that fall from grace and everything, you may have carried a lot of grief with you. And here is spirit, or rather the universe, has planted a new kind of lesson, has planted a lesson wherein, yes, everything may have been razed to the ground, but there is still some seed of hope, and you can still start over again. You can still have life anew from the destruction that has happened. However, another thing is that one interesting thing here is that there's another aspect to that, in which we have ewas, which is two horses. I would like to consider ewas as like the chariot of some sorts. But one of the things that I remember from ewas is that um, horses need to at least be coordinated on when to stop, on when to move, on or else the chariot or the wagon that they're pulling must might tumble down, or may get in they might end up putting the wagon into or chariot or carriage, there we go, the carriage that they're pulling into disrepair, or maybe run into problems. So there has to be coordination, there has to be teamwork when it comes to movement. And the thing is, they have the horses, not only the horses, but also the one um moving the wagon, I guess, or driving the wagon, coaxing the horses to move and stop, should also be coordinated with the horses. There is some sense of partnership and cohesiveness in terms of movement here. So, one of the lessons that the universe is telling you is that, aside from you being a little bit more discerning when it comes to your generosity, and having faith on that you need to start whenever you would start over again is to also discern and find the right people to have collaborations with, to work with, or to even share what your future projects would be, because it's this collaboration that would make and break things. And once again, don't dim your light. Don't dim your life. Once everything, once you feel safe to pop out your head, do not fear on being perceived. That's one thing. That's another thing. All right. So let's look into the energy that's arriving for you. All right. What is the energy arriving for pile number one? Energy arriving for pile number one. Energy arriving for pile number one. Thank you. Oh, okay. Anything else that you may want to add? Okay. Okay. Grounding. And underneath the deck is navigation. Okay. the cut ties is definitely speaking a lot. So let's first focus on balanced emotions here. What's very interesting is that it is a jellyfish. I think it's a man of war jellyfish. Let me check the guidebook for this. So balanced emotions. That's a letter B. All right. So balanced emotions. Jellyfish are graceful creatures that trust the ocean currents to take them to their destination. Take a moment to evaluate the way you spend your energy. Ooh. Sometimes we cannot see the grand picture and get caught up in the moment. If we are unable to see the lesson in a situation, if we are unable to see the lesson a situation is teaching us, we can get entangled in our emotions and the need for control. Are you holding on too tightly to feelings that don't serve you well? Yes. So I'm guessing a lot of you are feeling, there's a lot of, given that there's a 10 of swords here, there's a lot of negative emotions still within you, like anger, resentment, or these are just emotions that you're still processing or finally popping out because, of course, of, let's say, other factors. And you may just be starting to feel it now. So that is definitely something that you should think about. It's easier to see the solution when you feel calmer. Find a peaceful place in your home or outside where you can spend some time allowing your emotions to exist without judgment. Take a breath, acknowledge them, and let go of those that no longer support you. Yes, yes. That is definitely something that you should look into. And I don't think I will stress enough with the cut ties card, because given that you may have had specific feelings towards those people that may have wronged you, sometimes it's just better to cut your losses. If you need to move, or if you need to like uproot yourself from a place where you don't feel safe, and if you can, by the way, if you can, because I know how hard it is to move places, especially in this economy, how expensive it is to move from one area to another. If you can, go move. If you need to, you can also move in with your parents if that is an option. If they're the ones that has been causing you a lot of heartache, or if you are no contact with them, then don't. But definitely cut ties from the past if you are able to. So maybe let's say change your handles, or maybe make a new account, change your numbers, change jobs if that is something that you are able to do in the horizon. Do things to give you a change of pace, to remove you from the old ground so that you can move forward and grow into the new ground. And so we can look into grounding. The anchor in this card represents grounding and stability. So it's an anchor. A long awaited relationship, position, or financial compensation will become permanent. Oh, definitely. Oh, I like that. You can now ease your mind and focus on the desired security. This card can mean finally seeing the light after a challenging period. The stormy weather is over, and you can now adjust to the new steady pace in life. Don't be afraid to take a chance, but choose options with long term beneficial results if the opportunity arises. It would also seem that recovering from this emotional burnout, recovery, and then removing yourself from the whole entire situation in more ways than one, the good things are coming through. And if you're worried about, you know, the entire situation, this is the universe's way of saying that you are being well cared for. Don't worry, we got you. I love that. All right, so let's pull a few anchor cards to see what are the things that you will be anchoring on in this season. And I will be reading from the Dust Guidebook of the Seed and Sickle by Fez Incrite. All right. So, what are the anchors for pile number one? What are the anchors? Anchors for pile number one. All right, thank you. Anchors for pile number one. I apologize about that. My camera just turned off on its own because it got too hot. So, but I've managed to draw in two cards for you for whatever anchor that you will be getting to be able to navigate through this new transition in life. And also under the deck is Basil. So I'm going to be reading from the deck the meaning behind these. So we are going to go first with Foxglove. Foxglove is one of the plants said to protect a babe against being replaced by a fairy changeling child. Perhaps you feel as though you do not recognize yourself anymore or the path that your life is taking. But it's not too late to grab hold of that stranger and banish them. Indulge in a pastime you haven't picked up for a while, or take a walk down a familiar road to remind yourself of who you used to be. Or perhaps you like this new self that has emerged and want to embrace it. It is natural to change and grow, and so can your own identity. I love that. And you know what's really funny is that when I first drew this card, I saw the triangle here, which is the alchemical symbol for fire, and we have that here. So you're definitely a person with a lot of big ideas, and it's time for you to finally allow yourself to be perceived with those ideas. Okay, number 12, that is Pimpernel. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Pimpernel. The Scarlet Pimpernel owes its folk name Wayward to a German legend. A girl who planned to elope with her beloved arranged to meet him at the crossroads, but waited for days for him to appear, until eventually her feet took root and she turned into the first pimpernel flower. Life has brought you to to a crossroads, and you may not know which road is the right one to turn down. But you are not the first person to have come to this junction. Others have gone before you, and their wishes remains to watch over you. Whichever road you choose here on out will be the right one. Oh, I love that. Also, let me try to read Basil here because I came across it earlier. Basil. There is a growth to be found in helping others achieve the same goal. In India, a leaf of holy basil is placed on the forehead of the deceased to ensure that Vishnu will see them and welcome them into heaven. By giving your time and energy to others, you will draw the same good energy that you are giving away towards yourself. It seems like you will also have a lot of good friends, good people, a better set of friends coming into your life as well, and they will be your anchors. I love that. All right. Before I end this reading, I'd like to assure you that transitions aren't a sign of failure, but rather, it is a clear sign that you are evolving. Now, before we end this, I'd like to ask you to reflect on this. So take out your paper and pen and write this down. Who am I becoming? By standing still for once. Who am I becoming by standing still for once? Well, that is all that I'm seeing for your pile number 1. Thank you very much for joining me. And if this reading resonated, I invite you to save it or return to it whenever you need to hear it again. Gilded Lantern is here when you're ready to reconnect with your own knowing. I'll see you soon. Bye! All right, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. So for this, we are going to be pulling cards to see what chapters are closing for you. What's the lesson that the universe wants to teach you? Identify the incoming energy, and also look onto what will be anchoring you during this life transition. All right, let's begin. Okay. What are the chapters? The old chapters closing for pile number 2. Thank you. Oh, that's a lot. What are the chapters? That's a lot of cards. All right, let's see. I'm going to be only... Actually, these are very layered cards. Hang on, let's look into that. All right. Okay, thank you. Okay, and underneath the deck is the Justice. That's a lot of major arcana energy. So definitely my pile number 2s are undergoing a major life transition right now. So given that a lot of cards fell out for you, I believe that this is a layered message. So we're going to go through things slowly, and I'll try to interpret it as much as I can, since there seem to be a lot. All right, so let's first start off with this. We have the Hanged Man, and underneath that is the Nine of Wands and the King of Swords. All right. What I'm sensing right here, pile number 2, is that you were made to face with a specific decision wherein it feels like it's a make or break, a crossroads of some sort, which is which is interesting because we're already you right now, our reading is all about transitions, but here it's more on something happened that made you decide that enough is enough. Either you go left or right, and that this action has made you wiser. And underneath that, what made me very interested about this hanged man of yours is that there is a clown beckoning through um, the Nine of Wands with the King of Swords. It feels like this person, or I guess this situation, feels like it is a reoccurring theme wherein you are being beckoned back to it. Maybe I'm feeling and sensing like you are being love bombed, or being how do I word this in a how do I frame this in a way where it's not really pointing or accusing anyone, but it feels like it is like you are being lured back, or rather the previous situation feels like you were being lured back to that this scenario, and it involves somebody who has been using quite the mental gymnastics for you. I don't want to say it, but it feels like, well, the best way I guess to interpret it or say it is that it feels like they're a very abusive kind of person, narcissistic at its best, because aside from the King of Swords here, I'm seeing a vulture. This is somebody um who pecks at something, or rather they circle over something that knows that they can be, they can, you know, be pecked on until they well, let's say, I hate to say it, but expire. And if you, it may not be one person, but to some of you, I'm sensing that you were once surrounded by a lot of vultures in your life, and you've had enough. Enough was enough. Something happened that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Oh, okay. No wonder that the justice was underneath the deck, because it was already abusive, not borderline, but it was quite an abusive relationship. And I'm sorry to hear that from you, pile number two. You are very strong to have walked away from that. Not a lot of people would have walked away from that situation, especially if they know that it is a place wherein they still need support from, or that they have no capacity to walk away from it. But you made a really, really good and bold decision to leave, and I applaud you for that. All right, moving on here, it also feels like, okay, we have the Empress, the Fool, the Temperance, and the Ten of Swords. Okay, let's try to decode this as much as possible. A lot of you wanted to walk away from this so that you could start all over. Some, not all, a select some of you may be carrying, congratulations, first and foremost, they may be carrying a child with them, or are a mother. They already have kids with them. They wanted to take their kids with them to have a better life, to start over, have a better life, to make things better, to in a way transmute what has been done into something better, because it has been plaguing them. They want release. You want release from this torment, this mental torment that has been plaguing you for so long. Some of you, if you are not carrying a child or have children with them, some of you probably have ideas like business ventures, artistic endeavors that you have put in the back burner because of this former situation. And yeah, definitely something that you are going to be able to explore now that you have moved away from it, because I'm sorry. It's definitely good that you moved away from it, because file number 2. Look at this. I can see you sailing away from this kind of toxic, if not abusive relationship. You will be leaving them behind, but that doesn't mean that there are some dangers ahead. But you're strong. You know how to deal with these. They do not. You are equipped to be able to handle these things, the trials that are coming over by starting anew. And look, you have your little bundle of joy with you, whether it's a child, a family, or even your little business with you, your small business. You are going to be bringing it with you, and that is a good thing. All right? Now, let's look at what lessons that you will be bringing, or you have learned or may have been learning through this transition. All right. What is the lessons, or what are the lessons? What are the lessons that pile 2 needs to know, needs to take note of? And know the lessons that pile 3 needs to know. Thank you. Any more? One last. All right. Thank you. And beneath the deck is the water, Lagos. It's a very emotional kind of thing. So we have Urus, we have Isa, interesting, and we have Hagalas. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. So we have here an interesting set of cards from the runes. And the first thing that caught in my eye is that we have Isa here. So Isa is not just about ice or the winter, but it's also something that fortifies this reading. It stresses the fact that this is something that needed to happen in order for you to grow. And I will be stressing that a little bit later. Now, hail or Hagalas, right here, Hagalas, is often attributed to forces of nature, and I would usually see it as something that is how nature intended. In a way, we cannot control it, but here it is partially what nature intended, and or rather what is one thing that I sense from Hagalas here is that it is bound to happen because it is something that happened naturally. It could have been a cyclic thing within your family or your partner's family, or it could have been like an ancestral wound that has been passed down to you, and you are slowly healing from it. At the same time, it is also born through a series of decisions that you have also made, probably because of these traumas or ancestral wounds or personal wounds that you have been carrying. And the universe wants to stress that these things, these wounds, I guess, these insecurities that allowed you to let the situation into your life should create a strong impression on you moving forward. Because here, Udos are the wild ox, is all about strength. And it feels like the trials or the whole situation that has been happening for you is supposed to make you stronger moving forward. Mostly because of this, of the children that you have or are carrying, or even the business that you are going to be venturing to or are venturing into. You're, in a way, we can say it's the universe's way of like giving you a test of some sorts. But I would like to say it as a way for the universe to tell you that these are the things, like the things that are going to make you stronger, even though it's painful, because there are much, much worse things to come out there. And I want you to be ready so that you are going to be very, very equipped, or very much equipped, to be able to handle them with grace and with strength, and that you would know what to do the next time it happens to you. So you already know the warning signs, so that you can either take what's important to you and then leave the vicinity. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's very, very beautiful. And given that we have Lagos here, which is the water, or I would say stream, lake, river, I would usually interpret it as a flowing body of water. The universe wants you to be strong, stronger than you have ever been, because this will help you sail through life's seas smoothly. Wow, that was a very, very, very smooth message. It seems like smooth waters are in the horizon, but they want you to be able to navigate them like a seasoned sailor in rough seas. I hope you get what I mean by that. All right, so let's look on what energy is arriving for you this season. What energy is arriving for my pile number 2? What energy is arriving for my pile number 2? Thank you. Oh, hey! Oh, that is so good. What is arriving for my pile number 2? All right, underneath the deck, confidence. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love this energy, pile number 2. All right. So, okay. So, maybe it's like this. There we go. So, let's start with this. Financial security. If you are worried about this big shift, because I understand if there is a child, if there is a family, or even if it's a business, especially in this weird season in everybody's economies, no matter what country you are in, it looks spotty. In my opinion, it really looks spotty. Let's not sugarcoat things. However, good things are about to happen. Good things are coming to you in the horizon, and that is the energy that's coming in. That's why these blockages, the people, the situations, the old groups that have kept you in limbo, that have been trying to knock back into your life, are being removed from you, pile number 2, because the universe wants you to be financially secure. And at the same time, it feels like that some of you may be one of those that helps heal the financial wounds, the financial karma that is within their families for so long. And that is so beautiful. I'm excited for you, pile number 2. Okay. This is exciting, pile number 2. Okay, next, you have growth of energy. It feels like you're protected here, given that there is an egg here. A small family, maybe I don't know if your spiritual belief has a significant attachment or interpretation when it comes to eggs, but in some cultures, I remember that eggs are a sign of protection, especially spiritual protection. I've been having a hard time trying to enunciate that. So, Mercury retrograde, please be nice. Because at the time of this recording, it's Mercury retrograde. So, let's see. Growth of energy. All right, I'm going to read it from the book. You have been very productive and organized, trying to prepare for the next step in life. Oh my God, pile number 2. Your creativity is flowing. You have built a nest, and as you look at your potential, the future no longer seems frightening. Everything is in its place, and you are growing the energy for a big new project. The 6 petals in the seed of life signify that a blessing is in your path, and you have to take care and nurture your ideas to see them come to life. This newfound energy is bubbling up, and your excitement is lighting up the room. Don't be surprised if people compliment your looks because of your radiant spirit. This card could also mean pregnancy or childbirth. Oh my God, what did I say? What did I say, pile number 2? Oh my God, congratulations if you are expecting. And if you've chosen to be child-free, that would mean it's not about children coming in. It could also mean that you are giving birth to a new idea, to a new creative venture, or a new business. So congratulations. All right, so let's move on here. Here in Learn the Truth and Let Go. It would seem that some of the energies that are coming will also unveil truths that have been hidden from you, which may also result to, I guess, maybe with you deciding to leave this situation, it has also resulted to a lot of truths coming out. And you might learn to let go. Learning to let go from the situation so that you could invite more stuff in your life, the better stuff in life, and then grow your confidence. Grow your confidence. Okay. Now, one last, and let's look into your anchors for this transition season. What's pile number 2's anchors this transition season? Anchors. Oh, tulips and what's the other anchor? Is there any other anchors for pile number 2? Any other anchors for pile number 2? Okay. That hesitated a little bit, but I think it's more this, but I'll still read this. And underneath the deck is an apple. All right. So I will be reading from the Seed and Sickle Dusk Guidebook for this. So number 14. Number 14. Okay. Tulip. A Persian tale tells of a laborer who fell in love with a princess. To deter him from pursuing his daughter, the king set him an impossible task. But upon seeing him near to completing it, the king told him that the princess had died. The workman, distraught, killed himself, and then from the blood, the first tulips grew. Do not let the lies of others deter you from achieving your goals. You know how capable you are, even if others doubt you. Don't be fooled by falsehoods they spin to keep you from greatness. Oh my God, pile number 2. Wow, that's really strong right there. Okay. And oleander, 32. The oleander may be beautiful, but its leaves are deathly dangerous and not to be underestimated. Oh my gosh, a gecko started sounding. Okay. This card indicates a period of difficulty ahead. There may be a time of uncertainty looming, or a relationship may encounter a rocky patch. The important thing is not to make any hasty decisions in the heat of the moment, no matter how the situation may seem on the surface. Consider every angle before deciding how to face it. Your emotions won't benefit you here. Wow. Okay, okay. I remember what I said earlier about you navigating through the unknown here in the Six of Swords. It would seem like Oleander is telling you that. And because of your experiences here right now, pile number two. I'm not really sure why I called you pile number three, but maybe there's a message for you right there. Um, it would seem like you are going to be okay. Nothing to worry about. You, because of the situation, you have been equipped with the right tools to navigate through it. If you're worried, pile number two, don't worry. You are protected. You are guided to get through things. And I guess that is all for your reading. Before I end this, I'd like to assure you that transitions aren't a sign of failure. It's a clear sign that you are evolving. And I want you to get a piece of paper and pen and write this down. Reflect on this. Who am I becoming by standing still for once? Who am I becoming by standing still for once? Okay, pile number two, thank you for joining me. If this reading resonated, I invite you to save it or return here whenever you need it or whenever you need to be reminded of a few things. Gilded Lantern is here when you're ready to reconnect to your own knowing. I'll see you soon. Bye! All right, pile number three. Hello, welcome to your reading. So, we are going to be looking at old chapters that are closing for you in this life transition, the lessons that it bears for you, or that you're going to be learning, the energy that will be moving in towards you, and of course, your anchors for you to hold on to during this life transition. All right, let's start. What are the old chapters closing for pile number three? What are the old chapters closing for pile number three? Old chapters closing for pile number three. Old chapters closing for pile number three. All right. Underneath the deck is the Two of Coins, the Fool, the World, and the Knight of Cups. Wow, I'm liking this energy already. Okay. So, funny, the beginning and the end. We are looking at the beginning and the end of things. It feels like, or rather, I am sensing that the chapter that is closing, or rather, I'm sensing that this whole transition is just the beginning of an end. You may have been feeling it coming. Some of you may be resisting. Some of you are like bracing for it, but it's definitely coming up. If it hasn't already happened, then definitely new beginnings are here. Over here with the Fool, we have the imagery of the Little Mermaid, and it feels like you may have left a life, a very good life, or rather a privileged life. There we go, there we go. Okay, there was a gecko, I'm not really sure if you heard that, but it feels like you may have left a very privileged life for something grander, for something greater. And I keep on hearing part of your world. You may have been influenced to leave this old life for something bigger. However, you may have been enchanted. There we go. That's the word I was trying to look for. You were enchanted to leave your old life for something beautiful. And probably it was for a relationship. But given that we have both the beginning and the end, for you guys, you may have moved mountains for this significant other, for this person, for this group, for this community. It may not be just one person, but it definitely was someone or a group of, or a bunch of someones who were very influential enough for you to leave just to be with them. However, it did signal a few things that were pretty much the beginning of the end, and it feels like it also involved a contract of some sort. Some of you may have been given a contract to work outside, away from your home, to which, given with the Two of Coins, it may have been for greener pastures, because it could mean that some, if not all, took on this contract as the Knight of Cups right here, because the Knight of Cups not only is a very romantic kind of card, but it's also a bearer of news, a bearer of contracts. They offer something to you. And then also, yes, given that there is also a messenger bird here, probably an eagle, they also sometimes bring things back. The reason why you probably accepted this offer, this contract, or maybe this group of people is for something better, greener pastures, probably to help get yourself out of a less desirable position, and that's okay. And it has been tough, to say the least. I can feel that there has been difficulty. I can sense that there had been hardships along the way, especially with this Two of Coins, wherein you had to balance a lot of things, the necessities, but also the wants and the needs. Some of you may have some, if not all, but probably a select few, in an effort to probably and it feels like there is also debt involved. It's not for everybody. This message, that part might not be for everybody, but it could be for a select few. It could be for everybody, that there had been debt involved, and you can barely feed the human aspect for you, because the bear has a bigger appetite than a human, and you feed the bear, which is probably your debts and such. So it could be student loans, could be mortgages, how it could be student loans, mortgages, and even rent, things like that. There were, but I could. It's definitely something but it's definitely something challenging for you in terms of finances. But let's not focus on that. Let's look onto towards the lesson that's coming in. And given that this this big move that has happened, it's a chapter closing, so definitely there is something going on. All right. What are the lessons for pile number two? I mean, pile number three. Oh my goodness. I guess if pile number two pinged for you, then it's definitely something that you might want to check out. Pile number three. All right. Now, what are the lessons for my pile number three? Lessons for my pile number three. Lessons for my pile number three. Let it fall from the deck. Okay, that's a soft thing. Okay, we have Udos. I'm so sorry about the dog barking. That's our neighbor's dog. Okay. Anything else? Okay, thank you. Oh, interesting. And underneath the deck, it's the U tree or Awas. Awas. So, pile number 3. You have Urus, you have Jera, which is the harvest, and Hagalas, which is the hail. So, there is one strong thing that came into mind, and it's wealth. It's all about money, wealth, property, wounds that you may have inherited from your family, from your ancestors, and it's a very cyclical thing. So one of the lessons that the universe was trying to convey to you through that closing chapter is that allow the course to happen, but it also wants you to learn from it because it was supposed to happen. Let me further elaborate because runes can tend to. Oh, let me further elaborate this. So, in Norse, or rather for the ancient Norse, Urus is the ox, so it was the Orosh, the wild oxen that roamed free in, I believe, in Northern Europe. And to them and to a lot of civilizations, mind you that, the oxen, if not cattle, are considered um, a signifier of wealth. Although Urus is definitely all about that's the wild, that's the untamed. But one of the things that I heard first here was wealth and money and property. And given that Jera harvest came around, it definitely means that has been a recurring lesson, not only for you, but for those that came before you. So it could have been from your mother's side or your father's side, your brothers, your sisters, but it's definitely something that your family has been dealing it at a core level. And you know what's funny enough? The world is also about cycles. The fool is the start of a cycle. The world is the end of a cycle. But here, Jera is the harvest where it's the reaping. One of the things that I also associate Jera with is cycles. There will always be seasons, cyclical things. That's why it's if you look at the symbols here with Jera, it's kind of like a yin yang cycle. There's a balance, but I do think it's definitely a recurring thing in your family that you are trying to heal. You may have personally fell through the old patterns with probably a spending habit on how you aim too high and now you're crashing down because of the debts that you have acquired. However, you're learning. And with Hail here, that's all about the natural result of things. What you are seeing is what would normally happen if one allows themselves to perpetuate a cycle. And you are challenged, you are being called by not only the universe, but your spiritual team and your ancestors and everybody that came before you here with Apas to stand strong and true. That you have the capacity to get yourself out of this never ending cycle, and that they would want you to see that that the old habits are kind of poisonous to you. It was here the yew tree. One of the properties of the yew tree, if I remember right, is that it can be poisonous. So yes, it is a tree. It is something that has been used by civilizations for a lot of functions, but one of its properties is that it can be harmful for humans. And one of the things that I have also been hearing is that It is the dose that creates the poison. And I believe that is from Paracelsus, in which, yes, everything is poison, but at the same time, everything is also medicine. And what makes the difference between medicine and poison is the dose. So definitely looking into this, money is a good thing. Money is an energy, but also money can also lead you into traps, especially if you just continue with the old mindset that has been trained to you by the past or has been ingrained to you through those that came before you. And it's time for you to remove that poison from you so that the future generations and also you would be able to enjoy money as the energy that can provide bounty moving forward. All right? All right. So let's look at the energy arriving for you, pile number 3. What is the energy arriving for my pile number 3? Energy arriving for pile number 3. Thank you. Energy arriving for pile number 3. All right. Success and rebirth. Wow. Underneath the deck is cut ties. Oh, cut ties. Definitely a sign for you to cut ties to old habits, old influences, or even people that keep on bringing you back to this harmful cycle in your life. So we are going to look into that a little bit more. I'm going to be reading from the guidebook here, Rebirth. Okay, Rebirth. This card could be positive in a reading. The Rebirth card symbolizes the end of one period and the beginning of another. Oh my God, what did I tell you? Pile number 3. The end of the beginning of an end. There we go. This card could also represent the release of a bad habit, unhealthy attachment, struggle, or the end of a vicious cycle. Oh my God, what did I tell you? The moth is born at the end of a period of painful growth, and it's now able to fly. Energy never dissipates, it only changes from one form to another. But if you insist leaving behind the old path, you may experience some distress. That's normal, guys. Try to see the positive energy coming at you and opportunity you are being given. Opportunity being given. Leaving something behind and looking back could bring nostalgia and longing for the old days, but the future holds a different role for you. It's time to face it and start your bright new beginning. See, oh my God. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. All right, let's look into success. You have planted the seeds of success and the stars are in your favor, gently guiding your way forward. Trust that through the storms and heavy rain, the seed will grow and prosper. Forget the feelings of doubt. You are about to achieve significant accomplishments, and it's been you alone who has done all the work. This is a well-deserved success, and when the victory comes, it cannot be taken away. Enjoy. Oh my gosh, I'm having chills right now. I'm really having a lot of chills right now. You are going to be okay, pile number 3. So, let's look into your anchors and what will be helping you through this wave, this life transition wave. All right. What is pile 3's anchors, or what are pile 3's anchors? What are pile 3's anchors? What are pile 3's anchors? What? Thank you. Ooh, pile 3's anchors. Okay, another one. What are pile 3's anchors? Is there another one? What are pile 3's anchors? Okay, none. So, underneath the deck is Holly. So I will be reading from the Seed and Sickle Dusk guidebook. So 53. 53. An apple. Everything has an ending. Oh my god! Whether it's a day or 100 years from now, nothing can stay as it is, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. We naturally shy away from death and change, but don't forget that this too is in nature's plan. Hagalas again. Something in your life needs closure. Come to terms with it, embrace it, and know that in its ending, something new and beautiful will soon emerge. Oh, I'm not making this up, pile. Number 3, I'm not making this up, guys. The cards are speaking. They're singing for this pile. A lot of good things. All right, mustard. The mustard seed is a symbol of unseen strength. In Germany, it is encouraged for a bride to sow the seeds into the skirts of her wedding dress so that she may maintain strength and power in her new household. Your thoughts and needs are being overlooked by others right now, but don't forget that you have the ultimate say in your own happiness. Drink from the cup of courage and cut out that which would take your happiness away from you. Cut ties. Look out for yourself first and foremost. Wow. Just wow. Wow. Absolutely amazing, pile number 3. So, okay, before I end this reading, I'd like to assure you that transitions aren't a sign of failure. It is a clear sign that you are evolving. Now, I want you to get a piece of paper and write this. Who am I becoming by standing still for once? I want you to reflect on that and journal on that. All right? Okay, that's it. That's all that I'm seeing for your pile number 3. Thank you for joining me. And if this reading resonated, I invite you to save it or return here when you need it. Gilded Lantern is here when you are ready to reconnect to your own knowing. I'll see you soon. All right? Bye.